Welcome everyone. My name is Sylvia Raskin with the Prosperity Agenda. Welcome to Coaching Up Close, our mini webinar series designed to work some quick tips into your busy schedule and help you improve your coaching skills. Let me introduce TPA. We're working to end persistent poverty, changing the way we think about, build programs for, and coach families under financial stress. Coaching is, of course, a big part of our DNA, and we work with organizations all over the country on their coaching programs. Before we jump in, if you're joining us live, we'll be having a question and answer session at the end of this webinar, so save your questions. And as a note, for the next few months, we'll be offering Coaching Up Close webinars bi-weekly on the first and third Wednesday of each month, and we'll also be offering coaching on call, office hours on the second and fourth Wednesday of the month in order to provide a deeper question and answer time, and even do some collective brainstorming with other coaches from around the nation. So let's get started. Money is a huge part of people's lives all the time, and it's hard to talk about, and especially when people are struggling. Right now, as much as a third of the US economy is shut down. Since mid-March, 26 million people have filed for unemployment, and COVID-19 has exacerbated financial concerns, but Americans were already struggling to pay their bills before the crisis started. According to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, 43% of Americans said they couldn't pay their bills during the last year. And 34% of all consumers surveyed reported experiencing material hardships in the last year, including running out of food, not being able to afford a place to live, or lacking the money to seek medical treatment. So if talking about money is not something you normally do, this presentation can help you prepare to start conversations about money without needing to be a financial expert. This isn't about becoming a certified financial counselor. This is about opening the door to talk about a touchy subject in a way that's warm, conversational, and non-judgmental. And if your work is already directly concerned with finances, I invite you to listen to this webinar and consider how you can make space for the emotional and psychological parts of people's financial lives that usually isn't talked about. Over 50 staff and students in workforce development programs shared their experience of financial education with us. And what they revealed inspired us to think about money mindset conversations. So money mindset conversation is about our feelings, values, and beliefs about money. These discussions are about inspiring clearer financial goals, building healthy financial identities, and unlocking people's financial intentions for their future. So here are 3 things you can do to have a money mindset conversation. First one, reflecting and connecting about our feelings, values, and beliefs is a way to take action, even regardless of what someone's financial status is right now. So if someone's unemployed, you can still talk about your feelings, values, and beliefs. Our mindsets play this key role in the way we make short-term and long-term financial decisions. And to hone in on our money mindset, we want to consider what drives us. What do we care about? What are our strengths? What have we learned from the past? And when that moment arrives where we have to make a financial decision in the future, we can be ready to make the best financial decision for ourselves. Let me share with you a brief example of what mindsets can look like in action. So imagine someone has this mindset. They have this belief that they're not good with money. I mean, how many people have heard someone say, I'm just not good with money? You know, so many people, and everyone has probably daily experiences with money. So they believe they're not good with money. And they've heard from a financial education class that they're supposed to open a bank account. Okay, so they take that action and they say, all right, I'll go open that bank account. And then they see on their bank statement, the bank has charged them an extra fee and it caused their bank account to go negative and causes an overdraft fee. They look at that and they think, oh, this is proof. I'm not good with money. Maybe I shouldn't even have this bank account if I'm going to make mistakes like this. So if we don't look at our money mindset, the action of opening a bank account can be erased. What happens the next time they're told to get a bank account? Oh, I've tried that. It didn't work for me. Because they have taken it on as their mistake, as their personal failing, rather than something that that happened on the side of the bank. And when we take time to become aware of those money mindsets, like I'm not good with money, all these new possibilities can open up. Someone can say, oh, actually, I've handled these money situations pretty well in the past. And in the situation with the bank account, they can say, hey, this charge isn't right. And they might decide they're going to call up the bank to dispute the charge. Or they think, all right, maybe this was my mistake, but I'll find a way to avoid it in the future because I'm in control of my money. That's a totally different way to think about their mindset. And so this action that, a lot of people in the financial field want, and that's important, that's really important to being inclusive, to feeling like you belong, to being able to be a part of the, economy in the United States, having a bank account. It depends like how you interact with that. Your money mindset is kind of like laying underneath that surface. So timing is crucial, especially for the timing that we're going through right now. For participants who are taking a financial pay cut or unemployed right now, financial literacy information can create more anxiety and a sense of hopelessness for participants who are trying to get back on solid or stable financial ground. So, and although the financial information is sometimes appreciated by individuals, the ability to put it into action can be limited. So it's not necessarily the time that someone wants to work on their credit score right now. It's not necessarily the time that someone wants to think about a budget or think about, kind of big financial decisions. They might just be thinking about their financial now and what can they do right now. So our money mindset is something we can cultivate at any time. Finding space to talk about what money means to you, how you were raised to think about money, how you want to talk to your children about money, these can all be memorable moments. And when we have meaningful conversations about money, we open up these opportunities to connect and reflect in a way that promotes ease rather than anxiety or hopelessness. And so here's the second tip about having a money mindset conversation. So in these times of high stress, we need to provide an alternative to anxiety and shame. You can do this by making space for participants to define their own vision of financial wellness. So while talking to the graduates of workforce development programs, we heard they often walk away with financial education or literacy programs with what not to do. Don't buy the truck, don't buy those shoes. And this messaging really reinforces the myth that bad spending decisions are the cause of poverty and financial instability, which isn't the case. So we want to be careful about perpetuating, I want to stick on that point for a second. So it reinforces this idea that bad spending decisions are the cause of poverty, right? And that can reinforce that loop, that mindset that someone has thinking, I'm not good with money. Or even worse yet, what if, I think a terrible situation would be someone walks out of the financial education class or the conversation with this new idea that they're not good with money. And so we want to kind of really, it's too easy to do because we have these really strong narratives about money in our country, that money is our self-worth, money is proof of how hard you've worked, money is, opportunity is everywhere, this kind of individualism, which we know is not the case. So really important to kind of try to cut those off and kind of come at it from another place and be able to develop some of these other counter narratives around, I'm in control of my money, I know what's important to me, I have a lot of strengths, and making decisions about money is just another one of my strengths. So we want to be careful about not perpetuating one vision of financial success or financial wellness, and instead ask about someone's vision for the future and how they incorporate their own values, hopes, and dreams into that vision. For example, during a financial education class, my colleague observed on a slide there was an RV that represented retirement. And a participant asked, why is there an RV on the slide? Because that is an image she and her community associated with home during certain times in her life. So how can we be aware of these things, and how can we build more opportunities for participants to share their own goals, their own financial values and visions of success, instead of feeling like they have to ascribe to one version of success? And defining your own vision of success is powerful. It helps us connect to our authentic selves, which is a key component of shame resilience. As people ask people to think about their strengths, such as having a great sense of humor, being a great cook, being there for my kids. You can ask people to think about what inspires them, what they're striving for. With a few powerful questions, you can connect these ideas to financial goals and practices. So for example, you can ask, what is one financial goal that could support your vision for the future? And what is a small step you could take now that would support your vision? So for example, someone might say, I could work on obtaining a driver's license or opening a bank account. And those are important initial steps that sometimes aren't looked at as totally debt management or reducing your credit score by 30 points. But getting a driver's license is needed to open a bank account. And having a bank account is important to starting that savings plan. So taking these steps and not kind of valuing them higher or lower than any of these kind of like massive long-term goals. Money mindset cards, which we'll discuss a little bit later, drive this discussion that is student-driven, so we can start acknowledging people's unique goals, priorities, and actions. And we heard from the workforce development staff who are using these cards that they're able to start conversations from a place that truly matters to both staff and students. And in this way, they're able to make more technical financial knowledge relevant because what they're learning, what's driving students and what's important to them, and they can tailor their future financial discussions in that way. All right, third and last tip, celebrate the process and the willingness to look at something that's hard. And yeah, celebrate the willingness to look at something that's hard. So our goal is not to change people's mindsets, but for people to realize that they have a money mindset, and that impacts their day-to-day and long-term financial decisions and lives. In this way, we can start acknowledging there's no good or bad financial decisions, just decisions people are making that are best for them in that moment. So you can celebrate people's thoughtfulness, their love and concern for their family, their willingness to focus on themselves sometimes, rather than particular outcomes like not buying a particular item. And facilitators frequently report back that they learn alongside their students. So a facilitator told us, I participated in the activity as well as the students, and I liked how regardless of your knowledge or experience, the cards are still impactful and educational. You don't have to know all the answers, so you can take the burden off your own shoulders. And what we saw in these workforce development programs is that participants built a really strong relationship with staff in the programs, and they spent a lot of time together. And through this, they build a relationship with each other based on trust, communication, and empathy. And this is really the antidote to shame. When people feel shame, they isolate, they feel like they can't talk to anyone, they feel like they're not worthy of belonging. And by opening up this conversation, whatever it looks like, even if it's, you know, just a conversation about how are you feeling about money these days, that really can bring people together. Leadership in the organizations reported that they noticed a shift in other things too. By talking about money early and often in workforce development programs, the cohorts bonded quicker together and they were able to design more relevant programming. And our evaluation of the money mindset cards and conversations showed an increase in financial control, an increase in having someone you can talk to about money, which is also one of those anecdotes to shame, and reported an increase in setting up a way to automatically save money. So taking some of those financial steps as well. So we don't have to pretend we have it all together when it comes to finances. Staff facilitating these conversations say they're learning right alongside their students when they use money mindset cards. And not only are they learning more about their students' lives, they're uncovering what drives their own decisions and what challenges or opportunities they have with their own money mindset. So next steps for our folks on the call is Fran's gonna put a link to, she already put it there, amazing, to visit our webpage to view 3 money mindset cards that will help you have these conversations. And we also made a guide to virtual facilitation. So we know that things are a little weird right now. You might be, you know, coaching by phone or email or text or Zoom. So we offered some tips and tricks to think about virtual facilitation. And then I want to kind of challenge everyone to start small, to try this out. So try using one of the 3 cards we have on our website with 1 participant. And maybe if you don't feel comfortable doing it with a participant, try it with a colleague. Say, can we just have this money mindset conversation? You could either do that one-on-one or you could do it in a staff meeting. And I kind of want you to experience what these conversations can look like and feel like and what they might open up. So we're curious to hear what happens in your money mindset conversations.